Looking at these two guitars, you wouldn't know which one was which unless you look really closely. The one on the left is a Martin O28 VS. The one on the right is an Eastman E20P. The cases are slightly different. The metal on the Eastman is a little lighter. It's not as thick as the one on the Martin. It's just generally kind of a cheaper feel. The Martin's case has it's like a padded handle, where this is kind of harder, and it's probably not real leather. This might be real leather. This is the inside of the Eastman case, and it's, you know, good enough. It's just a good case. There's nothing wrong with it. Over here is the Martin case. The strap here, the one that keeps it from falling open, it already has a bend to it so that it bends inward, where the Eastman has your standard catch here, and it kind of bends in. The Martin case on the right is a little bit heavier, and that may be a good or a bad thing. I'm guessing it's probably a good thing. But yeah, just generally speaking, the Martin's case is just a little bit better. Okay, getting down to the guitars. There are slight differences just in the design of the guitars. The Martin has a blocked slotted headset, where the Eastman has a rounded one at the top. The nut on the Eastman is 1/16 thinner than the Martin. Fretboard is ebony, and it's a beautiful ebony. The Eastman is just stunning. I just love it. The Martin, again, is ebony, and it's beautiful. It's not quite as polished as the Eastman is. Here's the purfling on the Martin. It's a herringbone, and it's a little bit finer than the Eastman. These are details. The sound hole on the Eastman is a little bit smaller than on the 0.28. Guess it would be smaller because it is a smaller body, a slightly smaller body. It's based on the single-aught Martin. The pyramid bridge on the Martin, it's beautiful. It's nice ebony. Pyramid bridge on the Eastman, again, it's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect, just like the other one. Tuning machines on the Martin, Waverlys. Tuning machines on the Eastman are Waverly knockoffs. And again, they're good knockoffs, but they're knockoffs. I think the Waverlys are probably nickel plated. The Eastman's probably chrome plated. The body depth is very similar. Here's the backs of the two. The Eastman is on the right again. The Eastman has a joined neck, where the Martin has a solid mahogany, a solid carved mahogany neck. And the Eastman, I don't know if they were trying to hide that fact by layering on like really heavy duty dark stain around the butt, but if you look closely, which you probably can't see in the video, you'll be able to see a line where it was joined, where the Martin has no joint at all, because it's all solid mahogany. It's not a joined neck. And the other place where it's joined on the Eastman is up here around where the neck hits the head. And the Martin, of course, doesn't have that. But the Eastman does. The Eastman, there's a line right here. You can't really see it probably in the video, but I guarantee you it's there. The Eastman's neck profile is a smooth C, and the Martin is a vintage V. And here's where a few differences start to show up too. I like to consider the Martin as perfect. That's not a word I use a lot. That guitar is just astoundingly perfect. Everything on it is basically flawless. The Eastman is pretty darn close, but it's just a little bit off. It doesn't have the perfection that the Martin has. One of the things I noticed on the Eastman right away was a miscut nut on the E string, and this could be because it wasn't set up properly. I don't know, but or maybe the Martin was set up by a pro, because these are both used. The Eastman is basically a new guitar, but the Martin is used. The Eastman was a floor model. But if you listen to the E string open, you hear that buzz? Yeah. That's because it's got the nut cut is incorrect. It needs to be filed out or modified in some way. I tried to find a flaw with the Martin. It's really hard to find a flaw. I can't. It's like the most perfect acoustic I've ever played, and it will keep up with me no matter what I want to do. If I want to strum, if I want to finger pick, it goes wherever I want to go, and it doesn't complain. Alright, comparing the two. There's that buzz. I gotta get that fixed. So basically, the Eastman's got an Adirondack top. The Martin is a standard spruce or whatever, a Sitka spruce, I think it is. The Eastman does a really good job of getting very close to what the Martin is. It misses the perfection of the Martin, if there is such a thing. It's got a narrower neck. You may or may not like that. The Martin, when I first played it, I thought I was going to have a hard time getting used to such a wide neck, because it's as wide as a classical. But I got used to it, and again, it's a perfect guitar. It's hard for me to complain. The Eastman's a little bit brighter. The mids are a little bit more pronounced. The Martin has a better low end and a mellower sound. Those brights don't come out like it does on the Eastman. And the Eastman's got a smaller body, it's got a smaller sound hole, it's going to have that sort of sound. So the question in your mind is, can I buy an Eastman and not have to pay as much for a Martin to get the Martin experience? I would say you are going to get an excellent guitar for an Eastman, and I hate to be wishy-washy about it, but it's not, the Martin is not 3 times as good as this. It is slightly better. It is pretty darn close to perfection. It's hard for me to find any flaw in it whatsoever. The Eastman, I found extremely small flaws, like the nut, which might just be a quirk of this particular guitar. Some of the build quality, it is not quite as expensive as the Martin. Like the neck, having the neck in 3 pieces. There's a piece here, and a piece here. That really doesn't make any difference in the sound. So the Martin is going to be made with more expensive materials, and it's going to have a little bit finer finishing on it than the Eastman. But I have no complaints about the finish on the finishing details on this, except for the nut. The finish itself is perfect. It's not too thick. People talk about how the Chinese guitars have too thick of a finish. I think some of them do. The Eastmans don't. This one definitely doesn't. It's a beautiful guitar, and I would totally recommend this for anybody who does not have $3,000 for Martin